All right. Welcome,
Whoa.
welcome, welcome, Risk Raiders fans. It's a special Thursday afternoon edition of Risk Raiders with our very good friend and someone we're very excited to have on the show, Nikki Toon, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Combined Agents of America and my very good personal friend. And I'm so excited to have you on the show. It's really going to be, I'm really
I'm
excited
so
about it.
excited for this. I've been listening to all the episodes. I am so stoked.
You know what it is, Brent? It's Toon Time. It's Toon Time here on Risk Raiders.
On Risk Raiders.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It
Exactly.
is Toon Time with your Risk Raiders. You've already met Brent. There's Nikki over there. I'm Jeff Shropshire. We're glad to have you here today. I don't know if we're going to talk about insurance, but if we do, we're sorry. And we also want you to let you know we're not professional insurance people today. We're podcasters. Nikki's a genius. She might talk insurance, but just in case she's not your agent, she says something, you need to talk to your agent, your attorney, whatever. Don't talk to us. We are so glad, man, to have Nikki here. We had AJ
Very
last
excited.
week. Now we get the real story. Because I've always
The
found
inside
out, you talk to the CEO and you get the 30,000, but then you get to the COO. That's the meat.
Where the rubber meets the
That's
road.
where it is. That's where the Toon Time kicks in. That's
Yeah.
the real juicy stuff.
That's the juicy stuff.
Juicy stuff. So, Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick, and then tell us real quick what and who is CAA. 10
You
seconds,
bet.
go.
Okay. I am Nikki Toon. I'm like Brent said, the Chief Operating Officer at Combined Agents of America. I have been here for 9 years. And honestly, I have the best job in the industry. I get to work with independent agents every day. I get to work with carrier and vendor partners, and many of them have become my close friends. And so just so grateful for this industry and for this amazing network that was created 30 years ago next year. CA will be 30 years. And just so grateful and excited about this opportunity to share a little bit about the CAA story and just kind of what networks are, because there's a lot of them and they're all very different, but they all have a role and a place in the industry. So very, very excited to be here.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. Okay, so what we're going to do, I just want to tell you, if you're watching this and if you're a CAA member, you better stay on the line, because honest to God, you're going to learn something about your company you didn't even know. I always learn something every time I talk with Nikki or AJ. If you're a prospective agent, you better pay attention, because you're going to be looking for an aggregation system somewhere. You're going to need to look at CAA. You'll be talking to Nikki, so you need to know what she's going to beat you over the head about. Finally, insurance carriers, vendors, you're going to want to do business with CAA. You're going to need to know that we're the best agents out there. You need to be listening. And then the public, you need to give a crap about this, because your agent needs to be tied to a group or a group that facilitates to make them better. And that's what CAA does, and that's what Nikki's going to get us into here a little bit. So let's talk about these crazy agents, right?
Hey, Nick, you said something that kind of struck a chord with me about. We're very fortunate to be in this group and be a part of it. You are, we are. We all have been just blessed beyond belief that we fell in the door, or however we got into this thing. And it's just magic, don't you think?
It is, and it's just, CAA's just got such a unique model. I'm very passionate about insurance, but very, very passionate about networks as well. Obviously, CAA is my baby and I love it and I'm so grateful to be part of it, but there's networks for smaller agencies. There's networks for agencies that may be looking at perpetuating. There's all kinds of networks. And I agree with Jeff. You should be part of something, right? Some type of group. A little bit just about CAA, because there is so many different networks. We're a network that's comprised of 82 agencies today, just now closing the books for 2025 and excited. We're about $3.2 billion in P&C premium, which is incredible for the amount of agencies that we have. Just so grateful. We are in 10 states, so I'm going to list those really, really fast. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota. And we're really, really excited because AJ and I are going to be getting on the road here in the next couple of weeks and be hitting up Indiana, Tennessee, and Michigan. So we are looking at expanding. We've just really kind of got to know some agencies in those states that we want to be part of this group, right? Like, you start to meet people and you're like, man, you're part of that, or you're not part of something. Like, you get so passionate about it and you want them to be part of it. So very, very grateful. I would say probably the biggest misconception, we talked about this earlier, but I would say the biggest misconception about networks in general is probably agents thinking they're going to lose control.
Yeah.
Right. I hear that a lot. And that may be the case in some networks. So I always say, please do your due diligence, get an attorney to review that agreement because there's always some little caveat in there. But I would say it's totally opposite with CAA. I mean, honestly, I want you guys to, eventually talk about your experience. But I think a good network keeps you independent, you keep your identity, and you keep your client relations. I've never talked to any of our CAA clients. I don't talk to carriers about your clients. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception is just the loss of control. And with CAA, it's quite the opposite. Our agencies own the network. So CAA, I mean, we work for CAA. We don't, AJ, myself, none of our team has any type of ownership in it. So, and I love that because it takes the emotional part out of it for us. When we're meeting with carriers and vendors, we're speaking on behalf of the group. We don't have any I don't have an agency in Austin that I'm trying to get something better for. It's really just the passion that we have for the industry and just we want you to have the best options for your clients.
It's sort of the good and bad that we don't have control over our members, and that it's frustrating because at times you want people to all swim in the same direction and you never can. It's like herding cats. You can't get them to do it. They're
It's
independent.
kind of like our show, really, when you think about it.
Very much like the show.
I mean,
but it's also good that you're not controlled. I mean, if you want to do something, you can do it. You're still running your own shop. You're still in charge. It's just like having the ultimate behind you. You've got this powerful machine behind you that helps you and provides access to markets. And really, as I like to say, it's not about the money. It's about access to information and other members and what they know how to do.
It is. It is. You keep your brand, you keep your people, you make your own decisions. You get 100% of your commissions, 100% of your contingency.
All goes back.
It just all goes back to your agencies, and it's powerful because it's your business. Those are your clients. You deserve that, and you also deserve the opportunity and options to do with that money as you wish. Right? We have agencies that go and invest in producers, or maybe it's a year where they're changing an agency management system. Not only are you changing the agency management system, you're also getting a margarita machine for your staff.
Yeah.
All the things that go.
And rent space on the bottom floor and on the top.
Therapy, stock in liquor stores, all that good stuff.
I
Sounds
think
horrible.
The biggest thing, too, is also culture. There's agencies as well. It's a culture fit. I know when our members are looking at acquisitions, that's always the first thing they try to get into is, we can help agencies make a lot of money in an insurance agency, but what does the culture look like? And I think that is probably the most exciting for me is when I get to bring a prospect to one of our meetings and they get to see the interaction in the group. It is just, it's awesome. And everybody's just always so encouraging and supportive, and you just make them feel, I don't think we've had any agencies since I've been at CAA that came to a prospect that actually came to our board meeting and didn't want to be part of CAA. And that says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
It says a lot.
We must not have been at that meeting, Brent.
I mean, we have fun.
That's why we don't get invites to the meeting anymore. I feel like that's probably why that's all going that way. Well, then, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to wonder, then I can't really figure out why the hell somebody wouldn't say yes to that deal.
That's it.
I mean, and I'm serious because we've had people, there are people there's always some goofball who says no to some great deal. And you're like, well, why would you do that? I mean, what's the perception? Is it if it's just that fear, like it even sounds too good to be true, or you're going to get me in and I'm going to have to put your logo on my store? What is it? I mean, I can't get it.
It really is. I mean, when you look at the CAA contract, you get 100% of your contingency.
That's one.
You keep your commission.
Yeah, that's two.
Your Shropshire insurance, GBS insurance, nobody's changing your name. You use whatever management system you want. It does sound too good to be true because there's not another network out there that I know of that's like CAA.
No,
I have worked at another network and it was a great experience. And again, networks, there's certain agencies that need certain networks. But if you look at culture, completely different. 6,000 agencies in every state, but maybe Hawaii and Alaska, but they may be there by now. And just when you think about that, how do you build relationships, right? Like, I know our group has changed pretty significantly over the 9 years that I've been here. Agencies are selling, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be able to see our friends sell something that they worked so hard to build. And it's great, but what our network really focuses on is independent agencies. How do we help you stay independent? How do we help you make good business decisions using data, right?
Yes.
And just help you have a strong agency. And I think that when you come to a CA meeting, that's the secret sauce. If I ever get somebody that's kind of hesitant, I really do push. Like, it's hard to get people from Iowa to
Hard trip.
Texas in July, but
Oh, you think
we've
they'd be
done it.
running here? Like, I gotta warm up.
We've done it.
I
We've
gotta
done
warm
it.
up. It's so damn cold. I'm tired of being cold.
Yeah, we've done it. But once they've tasted and just gotten a little taste of CAA, it's a no-brainer. It is.
I want to talk about that culture thing a little bit, okay? Because I mean, we have CAA has a staff, and we have, you know, y'all do a lot of stuff, but you know, the members are still involved, and the members are still highly encouraged to be involved. I mean, there's leadership within the membership that works with you guys as well too. So it's not like just a robotic deal. I mean, this is a group that is highly influenced by the 82, God, that's hard to believe, 82 members. I mean, you're not yet, you have a voice, you have opportunities to share your ideas. You have opportunities to bring to the table. You don't just sit there and just wait to hear. I mean, you're actively involved. And Brent and I were talking about, and I'll let Brent go into this a little bit more. Well, what's your theory about the involvement factor? I mean, how does that go? If you come in here, should you sit and squat, or should you get involved? And if so, what can you get involved in? And Brent's done a lot more than I have in that. So why don't you tell us, Brent, a little bit about what you're doing or what you've done, of how people can say, hey, I'm going to be a part of an organization, not just a member.
And in this group, I honestly think you've got to dive in, and because you're only going to get out of it what you put in. And if you come to the meetings and you spend a lot of time talking to other members and engaging them and engaging the staff and becoming friends with these people and learning from them, you're going to get a lot out of it. And you're going to have a connection that you can call later, or that, because I know there's been times when I've come to the meeting where I've just got a huge problem hanging over my head and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody there that's like, hey man, take a deep breath. We had that happen. This is what you need to do, or these are the options. These are things you can do, and kind of talk you down out of the tree. And then when you leave, you're like, okay, I've got a working list of things I can do to solve this problem. From people who solved it and have been down the road and are in the same situation with you, not consultant giving you advice. I hate when you have someone, oh, this is what you should do, and you're thinking, you don't even own an agency. What do you know?
I have a freaking clue. Or you can go like to Nikki, and you go to some of the other staff members like Chelsea, and if you're having trouble with an account, you're doing that. You know, we're not that big of a group to where they know, and with our data that you guys have started gathering, if it's working in a certain industry, you need to work with a certain carrier, you need this. My God, there is 2 or 3 people in the group who are experts in it, know it. Nikki connects us, Chelsea connects us. And so the idea is to help you grow your business, you know, not to run your business, is to help you grow it. And then you get this.
I'll be better.
Yeah, this partnership, because you always run into people who are doing something better than you. There's one aspect, you know, agency owners, either you are a good producer and you've become one, an agency owner, or you've born into it and, you know, oh my God, it's like me, it's the 3rd generation, everybody else has died, so I have to run the place. You know, it doesn't matter, but there's people there who can come alongside you, and Nikki and AJ and then all the other members, we come together to help you succeed. And I think that's what's really unique about our group as an aggregator. I don't know, Nikki, what do you see involvement-wise and other things? You know, to give us some examples of that, of where you've seen it work.
I would say that, you know, Brent, getting involved is so key. I mean, AJ and I and our team, we've never owned an agency. We need to communicate with our members so we know what we can go do to find resources for you. You know, people ask, we have a very small staff for being a network of 3.2 billion. There's 9 of us, and that includes 4 that work for our brokerage, CA Insurance Services. And so we do get asked, like, what if your members are involved and, you know, you've got this staff, what do you do? And I'm like, man, it's kind of a funny question because it changes every day.
Yeah,
but I would say
not very well defined.
I would say our team, our job is we're connectors, we're advocates. We help problem solve. We give our members, it helps our members we give our members time to go focus on their clients by dealing with some of the stuff, vetting some of the technology. It just is ever so changing. We provide market access through our brokerage, say, insurance services, but the collaboration between the group and the members is the secret. It really is. When we have 3 board meetings a year, and usually we have very, very good attendance. I'm very, very proud of that. Our
Yes.
agencies, even if the principal can't get there, they send somebody that can represent the agency. And we have 3 board meetings a year. That's a lot. I get it. But it's so important, and it's the time for us to collaborate. As far as connecting, I have a story from just this morning. We had an agency in Iowa, and it's going to be -8 there, y'all, this week. Or 8 degrees, 8 degrees.
You have a
this week.
choice where you live. You got to move.
So this story's pretty funny. So we have this agency in Iowa. He calls me and he's like, "Hey, I've got a client who's buying a beach house in Texas." And I'm like, "Well, no kidding. It's 8 degrees, of course, when they're coming here." But he's like, "I know I don't have the right markets. I don't know that geography. Do we have an agent at CAA that does?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Right. And so we know that client is now getting the best coverage. They're with gets it, that knows that location, because this Iowa client doesn't know it yet, but it also gives our agency that peace of mind that client's taken care of, and that agent isn't going to take the rest of that business. It's not
No,
the CAA
totally not.
culture, right? Like,
Right.
it's just not. And so the connections are endless. I could give you stories and stories of just how we've connected agencies within each other. Another just real quick story is we have, now that we're in the Midwest, and I say now, we've been in the Midwest for a few years now, but we started in Texas. And so now that we're in Kansas and Iowa and Nebraska, if y'all haven't traveled it, you should get in the car and do it.
Giddy
Lots
up.
of agriculture. Lots of agriculture,
Yeah,
right? You
lots
just
of
drive for
cornfields.
days and don't see anything. And so we have all this,
You haven't been
You
to
have to drive
Lubbock.
a combine through
You
those
haven't been to
areas. Now
Lubbock.
you can't just
not in
with
a
a
while,
tractor.
but we
Can't
have a
just
lot of crop insurance
Yes,
agents,
they
and
do.
our agents write P&C, and then they also write crop. Well, we have a group of agencies that collaborated together, never would have known each other if it weren't for CAA, got together at a meeting and said, "Hey, there's some changes going on the crop." They got together and they created a software that they're going to have for their agencies, for our CAA agents, and that's gonna be like the software that they're all gonna use for their
Oh, that's
crop
slick.
business.
It's wonderful.
It's just incredible. The premium finance company that was created through the collaboration of this group. And now we're working on a tech company. So all good stuff, and all would not happen without our agents getting together in a room at least 3 times a year and talking about what's going on.
Well, and
This
I
industry
think
changes
too
so fast.
is that we've got this, maybe it's an arrogance about us that we've just most of the things we try to do as a group, they work. And so we're not afraid to try things or afraid to, like the premium finance company. People are like, "Oh, y'all can't do that." When we first said that, they're like, "You can't do that." We're like, "Well, I think we can." Uh, it
And we
worked.
will.
Yeah, we will. And it worked great. And then now it's evolved into something even bigger and better than we ever would have imagined. And it's the kind of thing that we've been very successful with is the right tools. We don't try to do too many things, but
And
we
we
pick out some instances where we can really do something effective and it works well.
And it's different than other organizations because we don't have a war chest of money here at CAA. Everything goes back to the individual
Yeah.
agencies. So when we decide we're going to do an initiative,
Right.
we have to get buy-in from the members, because guess
Right.
what? We're going to have to get them to pay for it somehow, right? Because we
that's
don't
good.
have anything. And it works. I think that, the way we're set up, and because we're lean, we do try to make sure that when we're going to invest in something, it's going to be the best thing for everybody. And it is. Generally, it is. The premium finance company, any of our members can invest in that. Any of them can use it. It's great for their clients. The tech company, the same thing. So I would say, just the collaboration from our members is key, and it's just fun. Always something.
And it's fun. I think you just hit on
Fun.
something too is, when we go to the meetings, and I guess everyone doesn't feel this way, but I'm always excited because I know we're going to have a good time. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to have some drinks along the way, and we're just going to enjoy each other's company. And we're also going to sit in the room and have some serious business meetings, but that's not the bulk of it, and most of the time, we're having fun.
We're celebrating usually. We're
Yeah, we're
celebrating a
celebrating, yeah,
successful
because
year.
we're doing
We're
well.
celebrating, yeah, something, a new carrier partner,
Yeah.
just always something fun.
But the information we always get is something to help us grow.
That's
It's always
yeah.
Right.
something to help us become, because every agent, there's so many good agents out there, and everybody who's in CA is a good agent, just the people who want to be great. You know, they're good on their own. They could be fine on their own, but they want to be better and better and
Right.
utilizing tools that you can't do yourself or you couldn't, it'd be too expensive to pay. But when you go to those meetings, you always walk out with either an idea that you had from talking to somebody or a presentation that we had. Even you go through those crappy times where it's just like, man, things are just hard. You guys have a speaker there that kind of a little bit motivation, give you some management tips, some things that help you think outside of your shop. Because I found that if you're a business owner and you get away from your business, get away from your agency for about 2 days, and you allow yourself to think broader, to be different, and to be honest with people around you, you'll come back revigorated and ready to go. And that's what
And
I
you're gonna
love
hear
about
something
this
too.
group.
But y'all know running a business is not easy. It's not. I mean, you're managing people, you're looking at expenses. Why would you want to do that alone?
Yeah.
I
When
know,
you
I
can be
100%
part
agree
of a
with that.
group that you're never alone. I mean, I know Brent's called other agencies. I've talked to them, and they're like, "Hey,
Oh,
I
we
talked
talk
to
all the
Brent, he helped
time.
us all the time." And agencies from Missouri, again, never would have crossed paths if it weren't for this amazing network.
Think of a time when we had, and this was a couple of years ago when we had kind of it was sales focused meeting, and a bunch of agents, like 5 or 6 of them, got up on the stage and were talking about how they were managing their producers, and some of it was just, I was like, wow. And that's not something they would tell a competitor or somebody
Like,
else in their town or whatever, but they were just telling us exactly how they were doing it and why it was working and some things they tried that didn't work. And I was just like, damn, this is impressive. Because you're just not gonna hear this some other place. You're just not.
No.
and from that panel, I remember exactly that panel. From that panel came the Producer Academy that we launched last
Right.
year. Now we have 60 producers in that meet once a week, talk about their pipeline. Super excited. I've got one right now in IS. It's $1 million account for one of those producers in there, and we're getting the quote today. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's
Last
awesome.
year we
Y'all
helped
just
a,
wrote a
a
big
young
one for
agent write a
somebody.
$1.2 million account.
Right.
Like
You
that is
just wrote that.
life changing.
Yeah.
Life changing for the agency that lost it too, but life changing for our young
Yeah,
member that came out of this producer academy that was developed from our members.
that's
Just
right.
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. And that kid, whoever wrote that,
Uniquely for our members. That's what the whole thing's styled for, the uniqueness of CAA. And so,
And
if you,
we tried to not create it. We were like, wow, another thing for us to manage, right? We went to our carriers. Do you have a good producer academy, right? Not that
right.
they aren't good, but it wasn't as sales driven as our members were wanting, right? Our
right.
average agencies, the agencies that are part of CAA, they're not part of CAA to have market access and IS, right?
No.
That's just a benefit. They're there for the collaboration. They've got all the markets they need, staff. They're great on their own. They just want to have some fun and have some, business partners. That's what you guys
Yeah,
are.
and
You
find
own
out
your
from other
agencies, and then each of you own CAA.
Sure.
and you get to find out from those other high performance shops what they're doing, and it's shocking at times when you find
Shocking.
out something they've figured out, and you're like, "Oh, damn, that's impressive. It's good."
Why didn't you tell me 5 years ago? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, where were you? Yeah,
Where were
but
you, you
oh, no,
selfish person? No, I'm just kidding. No, that's the thing too, is that, you got to be a person who's willing to give. That's what I like about the group. You've got to be a person that you don't just come and take, you give. And I've had so many people give me so many good nuggets of information, friendships, life-saving things, business-saving things, and there's nothing in return. There's no this or that. They just gladly, welcomely give you stuff to help you along the way. And then it just, it's just like everything else. It makes you want to do the same. But that is all brewed into, we talked about in the last video, from the foundation of the company, and that's carried all the way through to the current time of it, because talking about secret sauce, that's the secret sauce. And boy, howdy, we can't tote about enough for an agent. So I think if you're an agent of CAA, you need to find out, what else can you do? What else can I do in this group? Let me pay attention to
What am I
everything they're
missing
doing.
out on? What
Yeah.
resource have I not tapped into? You know?
That's right. Pick up the phone, call Nikki, call agent, because there's so much, and because you're running your own agency and you're in your whole world, but utilize all this. There's more tools than you'll ever know that's available to you. And if you're a prospect, I'm going to tell you what, we are selective. Let's just be honest about it.
Very
Yeah,
exclusive.
very.
It's a selective deal because to fit that culture, you got to fit the mentality to be part of the group, and there's a process for that. So it's just not an everyone. It needs to be the right one. And we will all know who that is. It's funny. We always know who it is. Like you said, they come to the meeting and we're all like, yeah, that's the one. We're going to get married. We can feel all that right off the bat, and there are too, because, they're like, oh, let's go. Let's do it right now. And you're like, no, you got to sign some paperwork. No, I'm just kidding. But you know it and you feel it. And so if you're looking for that type of aggregator as a prospect, this is a process you need to start, because if it's a fit, you're never, ever going to want to look anywhere else, because there's nothing like us. There's just not. And I'm just being honest about it.
And again, it's the too good to be true. But if you come, you're like, wow, this is what it should be like.
Yeah.
It should be like this.
I think it probably freaks people out, because we've been in it. Brent and I both been in it for such a long time. It's normal.
Well,
but when it's new and you walk into it, I think when I talk to a newer member, it's always great, because it's like, yeah, sometimes you get spoiled. You do. You get spoiled and content, and you're like, well, yeah, I've always had this for 20 years. And no, this is still great for so many people new.
With our ever so changing industry, lately, some of our new agencies were already part of something, right? They were part of another network. So I'm excited now that we're getting to a point where we have some of those have been in a year, and our next panel will be those agencies telling you how lucky you are.
Yeah, they jumped ship from another deal.
Yeah.
Because they saw this and they're like, how did I not know about this?
Yeah, why didn't I do my homework?
Well, it's like when a client leaves you, and then, it always looks greener pastures, or you go a different way. And then when they come back, it's the same sort of deal. It's like, well, tell us exactly. It's a good reminder of the values that we have and the specialness that we have. Yeah, I cannot wait to hear those stories. That's going to be fantastic.
I think so too. I think it'll give us all a little bit of a reality check,
Yeah.
Reality. Yeah. I don't know if I lived too well there. I don't know. Baby brain in reality,
One of the things
my reality is Brent's windy day. That's the way I look at it, right? That's just my reality right there.
That's a whole nother thing.
You're welcome.
What do you think, though, about our carrier partners and even some of the vendors?
Yeah.
Do you feel like I feel like they're getting a lot out of it too, and maybe we don't think about them as much as we should. But
I would say probably 10 years ago, the industry was a little confused on what we were going to do with networks. We were at that point. I think networks started about 30 years ago. CAA was right in the time. 1997 is when carriers were coming and off, asking for these large amounts of premium to qualify for certain incentives, commission. And so that's when networks started. I would say, Brent, what would you
Well, I was saying, don't you think our company...
Roll back the tape and ask the question again.
Roll back.
Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. All right, there we go.
Baby brain.
It's contagious.
It's coming.
Geez. Okay, our carriers. So they were all kind of looking at it, and now it's a necessary evil for them if they have to work with networks. And what we have done is AJ and I both worked for a carrier before. And so we put our carrier hat on and we say, okay, this has to be beneficial for everybody for it to be super, super successful. And that's when we started using data. And that really transformed the relationships we have with our carriers, and that some of the relationships we are getting, they are exclusive to this network. I can't even talk about them because they're so exclusive.
We have to kill you.
The only one that has it. Okay. So that is incredible. Yeah. It was the data, and we could not have that. We're the only network that uses data the way we are because our agents own us. They trust us. This is their business. So if you weren't able to give me that data, I wouldn't be able to do this job. That's what's happening in other networks. They don't have a network where they share data like us
and that's a powerful tool. I know you've told me a couple of times when you've been in some contentious meetings and you're like, no. Let me show you the data. Because they think it's one thing. You're like, oh, y'all are doing this or that. You're like, no.
You can't argue with numbers, right?
Those are the facts. Argue with it.
I'm not making it up. Hey, I'm not making up that we wrote $41 million in new PL business in 6 months. Here's the numbers. I'm sorry that I only wrote 1,000 with you, but let's talk about that. How do we fix that?
That's our next meeting.
But they appreciate it, right? No, they appreciate that we're open and transparent, and we're saying, I'm showing you that we can do it. How do I do it with you?
There you go. That's the right question.
And it's just so different.
Well, and I think you guys do a great job with this because it takes constant messaging because there's so many different groups out there. And these carriers are dealing with a lot of different groups. I mean, and not for me to give, just a total leeway here, but if you think about it, trying to deal with all these groups and how they work would be a challenging thing. And then some of them really do it completely different. And they all kind of do it different, but we are kind of a unique group. And you guys do a great job of constantly reminding them of that. Because I think, people flip, they turn, they do, but y'all are constantly having to remind people that this is a different group of people. The data helps show that a lot. I know that when y'all have orchestrated things like we do in July, the summer series where they come in and it takes a lot of repetition to tell carriers and vendors this is different. And then when they see it, they're like, holy
And you
crap.
can tell they're excited to be there now. I know there have been times in the past where they've been frustrated with the way things are going, but now I think they feel like it is a unique situation and that they can really make headway with us because we've got access to the data and we've got members that are looking to do more of a growth oriented type of a strategy, not just sit still. And so I think for the carrier, it's a win. They want to be in here now.
The other things that carriers love about CAA, from what I've been told, is that 100% of the commission and contingency goes back to you. It's
Right.
not going to these people in a network world that just because they had this idea 30 years ago to create, they've never written insurance and they're getting compensated on the business that those agencies wrote.
Right.
That's not our model. So when we go and we try to negotiate, something, we're like, but the agents that actually write the business are going to get it.
Right.
We're not taking anything off the top. And that's just very unique. And that means a lot to these carriers. They're not just throwing money away. They're giving it to the agencies
Yeah,
that
they don't
write
feel
the
like they're throwing a
business.
black hole. It's actually going to as one of my company friends said one time, they're giving the water to the horse, and that's the right thing.
I think one of the challenges I try to figure out if I was still just completely, without CAA and just running as my own agency, which own it and all that stuff didn't change, but to have these resources that you get, how in the world just the manage of keeping up with all the different contracts and all the incentives and the thing is that you guys, these carriers, they the ones who really work with us and put things on the table for us and stuff, you guys are constantly keeping that in front of us. We're
Yes.
always seeing when a company's giving, which they give a lot and they do a lot, y'all put that in front of us all the time so we can see what people are doing for us, what they're putting up for us, not just financially, but products, resources. There's some great resources that we've been given from carriers.
Claims liaison, right? If we have a
Right,
claim, our
yeah.
client has a
those
claim,
are
we have a
huge.
contact person. That's huge for your clients.
I mean, it is,
Absolutely.
and you can't keep up with that by yourself. You can't get access to yourself. And that's when carriers get frustrated with the agencies as a whole if they think, how are they going to remember this? Because they're dealing with, well, we don't have to worry about that in Combined Agents of America because you guys do so much of that. Keep it for us in front of us to where we all can pretty much, if you pay halfway attention, I can pretty much tell you, even baby brain, I can give you a pretty good litmus of where we are, what we're doing with the potential, most of our carriers and what they're doing for us and the resources. And I'm able to put that in my shop. Try to hit goals, try to utilize all the things they're given to us because we are all appreciative of that. That's the thing. You can't do that on your own. It's hard to do that on your own. Let's just put it that way. I wasn't good at it by myself.
It's hard,
No, you
it's
can't keep it all
expensive.
organized.
And if you don't have to do it on your own, why would you?
Well,
right?
yeah,
No, you can just focus on your agency
You
and
can focus
selling.
on your agency and focus on your clients, which brings me to the topic of why would a client care? Like why should a buyer care what kind of group their agency is part of?
Good
Right?
question.
Like we just mentioned, the Iowa situation, right? That client in Iowa knows that their agent gave them this agency that they're writing the beach house is an expert in that area. That's huge.
It's a big deal.
Y'all all have brain trusts behind you. So there should not be a problem that comes up in your agency that together we cannot figure out a solution. It might not be the solution you want, but it will
but
be
you're
a
gonna find the
solution
right
that's
answer.
the best and it's the right one.
It is,
right?
Yeah,
but
you definitely
this
get the right
group too.
answer.
If you were to tell me, hey, if I was a consumer and I'm going through XYZ agency over here, and then it's like, oh, they're a part of Combined Agents of America. What does that mean? I mean, one thing you always want to know: there's a million insurance agents. There's all these things, buying online and all that. One thing we do, and then we talked about a minute ago, but we do vet our members, and we do hold each other accountable to standards the way we do business, the integrity. And I know everybody throws that crap around. We see it all in the news. But we're not that big of a group to where we can't not do that.
Right.
And we all feel that kind of that pressure to make sure that we project ourselves for our own individual agencies, but also representing CAA in a way that if you're a client and you're wanting to know, well, what's a lot about this agency? If they're a member of a group, look at the group, because you're going to see, my gosh, it's nice to know somebody's been vetted through a group. It's nice that, wow, these companies want to do business with them. You should have a little bit strong comfort. I tell you, any of our CAA partners up there, all the way up from Iowa down to Houston, even Bel Air, Brent, we'll even throw Bel Air into that. That means something to you as a consumer, because that's going to get you quality, that's going to get you backing, that's going to get you resources and products that you might not get in other places. And by God, that is important today, because this insurance industry is nuts. It's not the same it was 5 years ago.
It's messy, and you really can't know everything. And if your agent's part of this group, or really probably most aggregators, that person's going to have access to better information. And I think as a consumer looking for an agent, you want somebody that's got access to the latest tools and latest information and what the best practices are. And I think when you hire an agent out of this group, you're getting that.
I do too.
You're getting the power of the group.
It wasn't
100%.
too long ago that we were having a high net worth, right, PL situation where it was
Right.
really hard for us to find, we had agencies call and say, if you can't find me a solution, they're not going to have insurance. Like that
Yeah.
is a tough spot.
Oh yeah.
But we have such great relationships with our E&S partners, and we have staff on our team like Chelsea who knows that world very well, and she's got the connections, right? We've got Joan on our team who came from an association, so she knows what benefits are already out there through our insurance state associations that CAA doesn't need to put time and money into, because we already have access, right? It's just it's a great group, and I think I know my insurance is with a CAA agent.
Hey, ours is. Let's mention his name again. Michael Sachs out there again. Our agent for risk raters. You diligent devil, you.
He's my agent too.
Yeah, I wish he could call somebody else. That's what he's thinking right now. He's like, man, I wish they'd have called somebody else.
Yeah, I did too. Well, and we're sorry again.
Sorry.
It was just a joke. Didn't mean it, but the pictures have been taken down. But anyway, so then we talk about the tools. And some of those tools are the things that y'all have created for us since producer schools. You've done the CAAISA, the agency and stuff. But then you also bring to us, because there's a lot of vendors out there. If you're an insurance agent, just like if you're a tire dealer, there's a lot of peripheral stuff that comes, and people that say they want to help you and try to help you, and there's a lot of different things. And so in our world, one of the biggest challenges is if there's a vendor product, whatever, how in the world, God, I need somebody to help me vet that out. I need somebody.
Do I need it? Should I buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to sell insurance policies. I've got to run an agency, and I don't have all these appointments, because you could spend all your time doing that, and y'all can't do it either. But touch on, from your standpoint, when it comes to vendors, kind of how do you look at that process? How do you know what to go after, and how do you know who to maybe go further with? Does that make sense?
So I feel like CAA's foundation is relationship. And it's hard. I think it's why we're so successful at CAA, because there's 82 agents. And one day we might be at 100, but that's still a lot different than 6,000, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so with that, we really can get to know the agencies and see what they have. But also we don't, you're right, we don't have capacity to check all the insure tech.
Right.
So we look at it and we're like, okay, one of the biggest expenses in an independent agency is what? Your management system, right? Well,
Correct.
Out of our 85, 90% of you use one of the two big ones. And so we've invested our time in building those relationships. And so with that comes access to some of the new stuff that comes out that our agents get to pilot, discounts on some of their resources, but also like policies and procedures. That could be someone's full-time job, coming up with processes and procedures on how to file a claim, or in your management system, documenting that. We've collaborated with our members, and I've got probably 80 pages worth of process and procedures for different management systems that our agents have access to. When it comes to vendors, we talked last year in November about what is next for CAA. What do you need as agents? And the big topic was technology, right? It scares us all. This whole AI, we don't even know. I mean, Brent, is that really you? I don't know.
It's not.
It's a
I
bot.
hate to tell you,
Brent
the
bot.
reason why we're on this show right now is because of AI. Let's just be honest with
For
you.
AI powered.
5 years ago, risk raters would never have been able to go off if it wasn't because AI is involved. So it's an example. Yeah, you better damn well get on boat and figure out where it fits, and that's where you
Right.
guys go ahead because that's a big topic.
Yeah, and we have. I feel like our network has been involved with technology way before our times in our industry, right? We've used technology for so long now that it's ingrained into our culture. And so
Oh,
with that though,
absolutely.
it's like all this is coming at us. So we just added to our staff. So now there's 9 of us effective Monday. And it's director of technology and innovation, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Let's go meet with our agencies. What are they using? How can we help them be more efficient, and what tools, right? I promise there's some agencies that have 5 different tools. 3 of them do the exact same thing and nobody's using any of them. That's the nature of it, right?
And that's wrong.
I was looking the other day.
That's typical.
I was cleaning my
That's not
office and I
good.
was like, I have an Apple Watch, an Aura Ring, an iPad, an iPhone, all of these things that I'm good at some of them. Some of them talk, but not all of them do, right? Like,
Right.
what do you do with all of that? So we're excited about that position. And I think it's going to help us really, really leverage all this technology to help our agencies and their clients.
That's a great idea. I'm glad y'all did that.
Yeah, I do too,
Excited
because
about that.
it kind of sounds like, and the way it sounds like to me is that you guys listen to our group and you're constantly listening for the things that we need or the things that, how to skin the cat. And then from a vendor situation, you're going out and trying to find the solutions, which is really great. And I know y'all do a lot of groundwork too by going to association meetings and doing other things to help bring things to us to consider. But to help, I mean, can you imagine, Brent, if we were trying to do all this on our own, of trying to go find this stuff and get this information and vet out all these AI. I mean, there's just no way. And
Well,
it's
in the
just a
past, the only
huge
people you could talk
advantage.
to were your competitors that you knew in town that you were friendly with, and they're going to tell you some things, but they're not going to tell you everything.
No,
and
everybody
it's
wants
just
to hold
not.
something back. And then here's the great thing, right, Nikki? So if there's products and things like that, since you own your own business, you participate in what you want to participate in.
That's right.
The group's not making decisions for you to go buy all this stuff or not.
Right.
If it's not your thing and doesn't fit your agency environment, you're the owner. You don't have to have it.
Right. We'll schedule a webinar. Here's ABC AI that we feel like would really help our agents, and we come up with, ideal discounted pricing so that it is affordable because it is something that we really want you to use, but it's up to you if you use it and if you want to invest in it.
Yeah, we're going to drive this innovations IT guy nuts or gal. I don't know who it is because I'm going to ask some questions. They're going to go, how's he still in business? How's he still in business? Did he ever?
Yeah.
What? I've
Can
never
we
heard
scan
that
a Big
question
Chief
before.
Tablet? Is that doable?
Yeah, I need help with my email. I need that. We'll have to have him on. We'll freak him out.
I think back to some of the resources that we were talking about consumers and just even some of the things that we talk about with prospects, our E&O program. Like as a consumer, I know that all of our agents have the best E&O because we created a program for it. Cyber, huge. My data, you've got all of my information. It is very important to me as a consumer that my agent has cyber insurance, right? We've got a cyber program for our agents. Those are the type of things that you don't have to go and figure out on your own. We did it collectively, and we did it because y'all asked for it, right?
Yeah, we needed it. I mean,
it's just guardrails. Everybody needs guardrails to kind of stay in the lane, and there's certain things like that. I'm still impressed that it's not evasive stuff. To me, it's just common sense business stuff to have those things in place. That's just best practices, but it's nice to have a group helping you do that in an affordability way, product way. It just cuts the time, saves the energy, and makes us all better to where, again, you can grow your agency and spend more time with your clients. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what it's about.
And I like being able to find out about these products without having to have a sales guy come out and tell me. I can ask someone else in the group that's using it, give me your experience. Do you think it's worth a darn? And they'll say, yeah, it's good. There's a few things that are problematic about it, but we generally liked it. Or they may say, I hate it. And then, you find out what you need to find out without having somebody come out, twist your arm that wants you to buy it or getting paid for you to buy it, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah, it really is. Saves us all a lot. But man, I've learned a lot already. Our next meeting's in March. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
fun.
gonna
I
be
guarantee
fun.
you
It's
it's gonna be
gonna
fun.
be
We're
another
gonna get
fun.
all the data, right, for last year and
We're gonna talk
see
about
what happened.
contingencies and how we ended in 2025, and it was a solid year for
Yeah.
CAA grew and, more clients, which is amazing, and I think too, another, like, just something different that sets CAA apart is consistency, and what I mean by that is this agreement, this CAA agreement to be a member of CAA was written 30 years ago, and there has been maybe 3 or 4 tweaks, but it's tweaks to actually hold y'all more accountable. Like,
Oh,
you're
Right.
not changing it to better to get
No, it's
more.
not
You're not
been
changing the
changed.
due structure, and you're changing it to be better, and so many networks have have left sight of that, right? They're now not only they're not only a network helping their agents, but now they've created an arm over here where they're acquiring agencies. Can you
yeah,
Right,
which is
which is
kind of
imagine if
working
conflict of
against
interest.
you. You
right,
know,
right?
if
And so
it's not,
we've been consistent, and that I think that's key. Carriers don't have to guess at CAA. They know that our members are going to get 100% of their commission and their contingency. They know that our team's going to be here to support it. We're not making these huge changes, and I think that's so important in this society. Period.
Well, and it's like you say, and I hadn't really thought about that in a while, but really it is the same operating agreement for the most part. Yes, we've tweaked some of the sections of it
yeah.
and just to eliminate some issues we were having, but in general, it's the same. It's the same as it was in 1997, and it just worked, and so we just keep doing it that way, and it makes perfect sense to, and that's a cool thing, like you say, a lot of these groups are not like that. There's a lot of gotchas in those things, and we just don't have any like that.
Yep. I appreciate for in my role, I appreciate the consistency. I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate the trust that not only do the members have with each other, but they have with our team. I mean, it just all works, and it's just I'm so excited.
Yeah, there's no secrets, there's no, like, star chamber where people are making decisions for
Are
us
you
or
saying we're not a cult?
not a well,
Oh,
I don't know about that.
I kind of
That's a
always,
whole 'nother
See,
that's a whole 'nother discussion.
I know.
Yeah, and there might be a little
Well,
cult-ish.
there's a pledge ship. No, there's not a pledge ship.
There's no paddling, come on. We know
uh,
nothing about that.
No, we're sorry about that. That's changed. That stopped. Thank God that guy died, right?
Yeah. You have any
Woo!
PLI policy? I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's good. I mean, I just can't imagine, and I'm sure for you, Nikki, that it's just been super fun. 'Cause I know you were at it. You had another group right
uh-huh.
before, and then I'm sure that, and then maybe it was a good one. I don't know. I don't even know where it was, but it's got to be just. I don't know. You probably feel the same way I do. It's just lucky to be here. You
Just
know, I feel like for some reason, we joined this group way back in the day, and it's just. I mean, it's been such a big part of my life. It's not even funny. I can't even.
Yeah, I
You
mean, we
know.
wouldn't be doing this stupid show if it wasn't for the group.
No, we wouldn't. I
I
was thinking
mean,
about
Brent and
that
I
when I
didn't
was
know
driving
each
over today.
other, even though we're both Red Raiders and we're perfect in every way when it comes to universities that we like. We didn't know each other. We didn't know each
This
other
is
until
No, and
CAA.
we really started doing our little thing when we were at
We've been
the
doing our
meetings,
show
just
for 20
laughing and
years.
joking in the pit.
nobody knew.
Nobody
We're,
knew.
we're like, guys ought to do a show or
Like, you
something.
guys are sick. Y'all need to go on the air.
Somebody
No,
should be recording this.
But this is the thing though. You just never know where what you find and what you do,
Right.
like any other group. And I'm telling you, you care about this industry, you care about your employees, you care about your customers, you care about your customer relationships. Man, this is the place you should look. And I just want to say, Nikki, thank you.
Yeah.
You and the team, y'all work your brains out, and we really, I don't get to tell you enough because I try to hide because I'm afraid y'all are going to ask me to do something. But to be honest with you, no, you don't do that. But I really am appreciative of everything that you do because it means a lot. And since you guys have come on board and done everything, we have been better.
Oh my gosh.
In
Yeah.
so many areas, we're better, and y'all have a good way of bringing in every time we add. I can't wait to meet this new staff member because they're going to make us better. I don't even worry about it, but I'm so excited about everything you're doing, and thank you so much.
Thank you for
It's
having
like I
me.
told AJ yesterday, I was very reluctant when we switched over to professional management, and I was scared. I was like, man, we're going to ruin the culture. It's got
It's
the
kind of
special
like when
pink
Coke
one.
came out with the new Coke, you were kind of fearful.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
And
Anyway.
and it's just worked out so beautifully. I mean, it's been
It has.
such an amazing thing to watch us transition to professional management and how much more effective we've been able to be and how many more projects that we can get done and start and manage that we just couldn't do it with volunteers.
It's hard.
The journey is something AJ and I talk about daily. We talk about how grateful we are. We talk about how we get to work with our friends.
Yes.
And when we get, you just seeing the collaboration and the stability that CA offers our agents as well, right? Like, CA is going to be here. The shared intellect, just all of it. We're just so, so grateful. And 9 years, I've been here 9 years, and I'm like, wow, I am more excited today than probably ever.
It
It's
never gets
just
old.
so much fun. And there's,
Yeah.
we CAA, we've hit some little hurdles beginning of this year, but it's okay because we're all in it together. We know we have the support from our members, and we're going to get through it, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be better.
Well, the bumps in the road always prove the concept. When you have a problem and you work through it, you realize how strong we are, is that we really are, in a way, kind of bulletproof. I mean, I don't want to brag on it, but I mean, we're so big and so effective, and there's so many smart people in the group. We're going to figure out a way.
I mean, just
The
smart.
relationships.
Every problem that comes up, it seems like there's 12 gals who know how to answer it.
Yeah,
It's weird. I'm going to tell you, it is kind of freaky weird because I am kind of like Brent. I'm like, I mean, you can throw a bunch of stuff, but over the history, there's about 12 or 15 men and women who go, yeah, I got an idea to that. And they're like, where did that come from?
Where did
so
I come up with that? He was like, damn, that's good.
Yeah, we need to write that down. Well, I think it's been fantastic. I'm looking forward to March. I think it's going to be a great meeting. Thank you for putting that together. Thank you for daring to come on to Risk Raiders.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I have a feeling
you.
we'll get to have you on again. I think it's always good to have Toon Time. We're going to have Toon Time every once in a while.
Awesome. Well, I've appreciated
we're gonna have
spending my Thursday afternoon with both of you. And I'm very, very proud of both of you. This has been so much fun to watch and seeing you guys collaborate on this.
Well, we appreciate you saying it because we really are having a good time. I mean, it's just been like being shot out of a cannon. I mean, we've just had so much fun. And I never would have thought that. I didn't really know what it was going to be like when Jeff called me. He's like, hey, let's do a podcast. And I'm like,
how do I tell him no?
I didn't even know. In fact, I didn't even call you back at first because I was scared. I was like, I don't want to.
I know, he didn't call me back. I didn't find out till a CAA meeting that he had said yes 2 months ago, and he didn't even know what I was asking. I swear to God, we talked about it on the last show, but he didn't even know what we were going to do. Yeah, I'm going to be on it. And I'm like, what are you going to be on?
The show.
He went from filming in his bedroom to look at him now. He's got a mic and all.
We're trying to get him back.
The remodels when we started, we had that crazy setup upstairs with a bed behind me.
I think at least once a quarter we're going back to the bedroom.
Yeah, we're going to shoot one for the bedroom.
There's some unknown stories that need to be filtered out of that bedroom.
We could do with that.
Awesome. Well, y'all have an awesome weekend. Thank you again for having me.
Thanks, Nikki. Take care of yourself. We appreciate you.
Hold on. I want to say one more thing, though. Seriously, we do appreciate you guys a ton. And everybody have a great weekend. And we'll see everybody next Friday. Take care. Guns up.